Welcome to Seltzer Squad, the podcast about staying sober in the city, with your hosts, Kate Zander and Jess Valentine.
Hey guys, Kate here. I just wanted to let you know that this week's episode is sponsored by Audible. Audible is a huge part of my sober toolbox. I love listening to books and memoirs, and it's almost like having another friend who gets it. So visit audibletrial.com/seltzersquad for a free month. You'll thank us later.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Kate.
How
How
are
are you doing?
you?
Are you okay? You dying over there?
No, I was just drinking Diet Pepsi and went right down the wrong tube.
I feel like we haven't done a catch-up episode in so long.
I know. I'm trying to find out how many days we've been in quarantine, like from COVID.
Oh,
It's been like
God.
260 some days or something like that.
That's crazy.
And we've seen each other once, right? Just once.
Twice, I think. I think I came over the one time to try to record and we had issues.
Yeah, that's right.
So we didn't record.
Fuck.
And then there was the other time that we had dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And
Miss
I'd like
you.
to see you in person soon.
So catch
But
me up.
anyway,
Where you been?
at your house.
Yeah, you came. You went to my house.
Guys, so I went to Kate's. Kate has an Airbnb. It's the cutest Airbnb. I loved it because I had to go. Is it technically in the Catskills or no?
It's like the lower Catskills. It's
Okay,
right on
yeah.
the Delaware River.
So yeah, my fiance and I had an appointment to go look at a wedding venue in the Catskills, and I was like, hey, Kate's place is in the Catskills. Maybe we could get it. And so I reached out to
Get
Kate
it.
and she let us stay there. And it was so awesome. Like, okay, I'm just still like,
Did you roll up at
wrapping my
night? Was
head
it weird?
it wasn't weird.
Okay.
No.
I
We did
always
roll up at
wonder if
night.
people are like creeped out because when I've stayed at Airbnbs and I've checked in like after dark, it's always so weird.
Oh, really? I don't know. It was pretty straightforward.
Okay,
and
good.
No, I didn't think it was weird. It was pitch black because you
Mhm.
live in the middle of the woods,
Mhm.
but it was so nice. But really it was the bathroom. The bathroom was stocked with like literally everything you can think of. It was looked like a store, a very well curated store. I didn't want to touch anything. It was so cute, so nice.
I have a really amazing property manager that contributed probably 75% of those things. Like I've worked in beauty forever, so I've always had all of this crap like people give me or I get at events. And so I feel like the upstate house is the perfect place to like help people treat themselves. And so I just put a bunch of it up there. And then I think she added to it. I haven't actually been there since I left, like way back when we had that catch
Oh my
up.
God, no, it's perfect.
But you sent me the pictures and they look so cute. So shout out to Amy. She doesn't listen to this podcast, but she's an angel.
Amy, good job. You guys should rent Kate's Airbnb, the Sullivan House in Pond Eddy.
As soon as quarantine is over, like, and COVID is gone, we wanted to have a retreat. Remember, we were going to have a 2020 retreat, and then this happened. So hopefully next year we can do a retreat.
Yeah, minus the time that I thought that we were going to die. It was the best time ever. It's so funny. Yes.
I'm like still convinced that something maybe happened because the camera shorted out and there's like footage, but we can't access it. There's just like gray area on there, which is fucking weird.
People, but we thought we heard someone coming in, and then Kate has like the Ring doorbell. So, and I have that as well at my house. So I know that it records when people come up to it, and I don't know, it won't work. It's like some kind of like horror movie shit where during that time it was triggered, but the film is unavailable. But there was a motion detector light that went on. Again, it could be an animal.
There's a cat that has set it off a lot. Like we see on the camera, this cat walks around and when he walks through the little courtyard thing, he sets off the motion detector. But I feel like, did you hear someone or was it just the light came on and freaked you out? I don't know.
We didn't hear a person.
Okay.
We heard what sounded like the door, like the glass door opening. And it was funny because I was sleeping and Cameron woke me up and I thought that maybe we fucked up and we went when you actually had someone checking in.
No.
But whatever. Anyway, so it was just very funny, like being in the woods, especially me. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like and then all of a sudden, like you hear something outside.
That was me like all summer, dude, by myself.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I said to Cameron, I do not know how she stayed here by herself just because we go to bed watching true crime,
Sure.
you know? So I was like,
we didn't have deadbolts on the doors then either. Like that's why I was so scared, because we didn't even have those locks on the doors yet. We installed those ourselves. And so I had like somebody just could have literally come into the house at any time. So I was always just terrified when I went to bed. And sometimes there's a rocking chair on the porch. And sometimes when the wind blows, the rocking chair will rock and sounds like somebody's walking on the deck, and it will hit the window. Yes.
That's spooky.
Yes.
Also, when you're by yourself, it's so easy to let your imagination go wild.
Yes. And like I've told people when they go, I'm like, every animal at night sounds like it's 100 times as large as it is. Like a tiny little possum will sound like a grizzly bear, because you're just like, you can't see it, but you can hear it. And it sounds really scary. And it's also mad quiet.
Pitch black. But I loved all the bunnies.
Oh yeah.
So many bunnies. Yeah, it was really, really nice. We are so grateful that you and TJ were kind enough to let us stay there.
I feel like you guys need to go back. Like you didn't have a good experience. And I'm like, I hope
we did.
That they go back.
We had a great time. No, we had a great time. I love your stove. I love that you don't have a TV. So it makes people actually like hang out and talk. We played games. We played Scrabble, and it was really fun. We cooked a nice dinner, and so let's see. That's what I've done.
You locked down a venue.
I locked down a venue. Oh yeah. I should probably talk very slightly about that, because I remember when like we first got engaged or whatever, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to want to have booze at my wedding or how I'm going to navigate that. So I figured it out, and whatever anyone deciding to get married, how they decide to do their bar at their wedding, that is up to you.
Sure.
So what we decided to do is there's different bar packages, and I decided to go with one that was not the full open bar. It's like beer, wine, and 2 cocktails, like 2 signature cocktails for however long. But the thing is that you pay per person,
Smart.
So I spoke to the owner, and I was like, I have some ideas and thoughts on this. I explained that I'm sober, and then I have a lot of sober friends and all that. So he was so nice. He's like, okay, let's say that you have 100 people at the wedding, but 20 are sober. I'm going to take those people off of the bar package. So that is super nice of him.
That's
and then
great.
I asked him, because I really want to have non-alcoholic beverages. So I want to have a non-alcoholic wine, a non-alcoholic beer, and like Frey, so like like fake champagne or whatever. And he was like, absolutely, bring whatever you want.
Cool.
So yeah, I feel like I would hope that people wouldn't get pissed about there not being like, I don't know, whiskey and vodka and stuff, but there's going to be 2 cocktails. So I feel
think
like
that
people
also
should be
prevents
happy.
people from getting super fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And they have a no shop policy, which I actually like. It's like this cute little, like what they call a stick mansion or something in the Catskills. But I feel like that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Beer, wine, and 2 signature cocktails.
The last few weddings that we've gone to have been exactly that, have been beer and wine and 2 signature cocktails.
Okay. Yeah. I just don't think that people need to be drinking hard liquor. And if they want to,
like they'll bring their own if they like.
You'll bring a flask.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I am happy to say I'm at the point in my life that my friends aren't those type of people. Basically what I would have been like 10 years ago, bringing the flask.
Everybody's going to come and do what you did at their wedding to your wedding. LOL.
Yeah. So so that's where I'm at. I'm comfortable with that decision. I think it's going to be fine. I think that it's also, I've never been to a wedding where they had non-alcoholic options. I mean, besides from mixers or juices and sodas and stuff, like I'm also debating doing a mocktail. I don't know if that's going to get too crazy.
Maybe you could just pick a cocktail that makes a good mocktail also. And then you
that's
just
what I
do
was
the
thinking,
NA
like having the
of it.
2 signature cocktails, but also having like depending on what the base is, being able to sub it out for a mocktail. Like, okay, do you want the alcoholic version or non-alcoholic version? But
that's cool though. Did you pick a date?
Oh yeah. So because of COVID, all of the 2020 weddings have been pushed to 21. So we were unable to get a 2021 date. So it's August 6th, 22.
I love that.
It's 2 years out.
That's good though.
That's far.
I know, but COVID messed everything up. Like everybody's.
I know. I'm just being selfish.
Time is irrelevant.
What if I want to get fat? My skirt won't fit.
You have 2 years. Also, that's not a thing.
What if I want to have a baby?
You could legitimately have a baby.
I know.
In that time.
I think that is
and
best
it could
we don't.
come to the wedding.
Yeah, I think it's best we don't. But Yeah. So I've just been doing wedding planning. I did, lock down a videographer, photographer, and then basically that's all going to get put on the back burner for the next couple of years now.
You have a lot of time to plan. That's nice.
Yeah. And we don't really have to plan anything. So now I'm just back to regular life, working, doing the pod. I guess that's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting.
When was your soberversary? I never remember.
Oh, the one that stuck this time?
Yeah, this one
was September.
Oh, it was September.
10th.
Okay. We started the podcast in November, so I always think that it's closer to when we started the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like our podiversary.
August. It was originally like August 27th or something. And then that was for like a year or not even. And then September. And you are coming up on your 5th year in 2 months. That's so crazy to me.
I know. I said to TJ, like, I was thinking about it last night and I was like, 5 feels like a lot. That's like a grip of time. I was like, what? I want to do something major, but I am jobless. So that feels irresponsible right now. And there's a pandemic.
You want to do what?
I said I wanted to do something major, but I'm jobless. So that feels irresponsible right now. And it's a pandemic. But I was like, I want to go to Puerto Rico.
Or
somewhere tropical. I mean, I think the flying part feels irresponsible.
I mean,
the travel
I think
aspect.
that it's not irresponsible at all. I think that you should definitely treat yourself. I don't think that it's irresponsible. Are you just meaning financially?
I mean, always. I always feel like I'm doing something irresponsibly financially.
So what you do is take your Airbnb and like a weekend or something, whatever, take that money and put it on your own Airbnb.
Yeah, you're right.
Share the wealth.
True.
Look at it that way.
I need a beach.
Just paying it forward.
Yeah, I definitely need a warm beach soon. So 5 years feels pretty major. I remember.
Yeah.
So much has happened in 5 years.
I think you should really do something nice for yourself because that is quite the milestone.
I looked at my app today and I've been sober for 250 weeks. That for some reason feels like a really long time.
250 weeks?
Yeah. Whoa. And like 1,750 days.
Oh, I'm going to check mine now.
Isn't that weird?
That's a lot. That's crazy. Yeah. I think that you should do something because did you do something last year? You just bought a bag that you never used, right?
For 4? I don't know. It was seemingly insignificant.
You were also struggling.
I think I got the massage. I think I got a massage pack for myself last year.
Okay.
And then the pandemic hit and I never got to use all of them. So that's cute. But something that I like updated since our last catch up is that I have really been leaning on the squad for support. Like I have had so many convos. Like I have so many squad friends now.
It's funny that you say that because when we were talking earlier before we started recording about all the people, like you're like, oh, so-and-so that I've been talking to, I was thinking like, she's actually like really using the squad as like, she's making friends.
Well, like when people are offering things up, like, where I was like, no. I've been like, actually, I wouldn't mind like talking about that. Or I wouldn't like, I'm happy that you're willing to spend, some of your time talking to me. So shout out to Erin. She reached out to me in my DMs because I've talked about how I'm studying to become a therapist. I'm actually in finals right now of my first year. Can you even believe that I took 10 classes this year?
No.
LOL.
No.
And I've like the whole process of becoming a therapist is very confusing because there's all these fancy letters at the end of your name. There's all these different amounts of schools and these different tests that you have to take. And there's like different levels of training. And it's like, I tried to talk to Nance about it, but I'm also like, I'm paying you for this, which is annoying. Like I'm paying you to be my therapist, but also like, can you tell me what my career trajectory is? So anyway, Erin reached out.
It's a sticky situation.
She's been in my DMs and we've hit each other up back and forth. And then I just said like, you know what? I would love it if you had some extra time to walk me through the process. And so we FaceTimed for a while one evening after she came home from work, and she just walked me through like, year 1, this is what you do. Year 2, this is what you do. When you get out, your title is this. Here's where you want to get your practicum hours. And she really took the time to spell everything out for me, and it was just super helpful.
Sweet. That's so sweet. And you're like going to be hanging out with a squad member soon, right?
Yeah. And shout out to Lee. She hit us up in our DMs, and I don't know, squad, if everybody knows this, but if you DM us, I usually hit back with video DMs. So it's just easier for me to talk to people than to type to people. And I might not get to you right away, but I usually try to get to everybody that reaches out to us and just hit them up and say, hey. And so anyway, Lee videoed me back. So then we had a video back and forth ongoing thing. And at a certain point we exchanged numbers and we've become extremely close. And I've become close with a few squad members. And it's interesting because I think you and I sort of sometimes feel like outsiders, even though the Seltzer Squad is our squad. Like we don't really get to reap the benefits. We always think it's for everyone else, even though we like built this for ourselves.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Isn't that funny?
And there's always that weird barrier of like, you exchange a DM with someone, you relate on some level, right? You're reaching out for some reason, even in the Facebook squad. But I was really persistent about like, what do you do to take it to the next step? And I think that's why for me, the video DMs were taking it to the next step because I just wanted to show up as I am. Like I didn't want to have to make it be a whole thing to see if I wanted to get to know somebody. You know what I mean? Or to see if we like had that connection or that relatability or those things in common. And I think that then made it easier for me to say like, we should schedule a FaceTime because it's COVID times and these people live all over the country. So even that's weird because, you know, it's like they're essentially strangers, but we all have sobriety in common. And what I've found is like 95% of the people that are our Seltzer Squad have our sense of humor. And so I wish you guys would reach out to each other more because everyone's fucking hilarious. And just like I've just had like some really good convos lately. And so I feel very supported by the squad. And so I want to shout out to everybody that I've talked to that's helped me in the
weird
in the I did at first.
That people like know your deepest, darkest secrets.
I mean, we talk about it on here anyway, so there's not a whole lot to uncover.
Well, that's what I mean, because I feel like people, they know us. So a lot of people say like they feel like we're their friends because like they know us, they hear us. But is it like, I don't know, I feel like it's weird sometimes because like, oh my God, like this person knows so much about me and I know nothing about
think
them.
the weird thing is, or the easy thing about it is like I have my best friends in real life, like a lot of from childhood and grade school and stuff, like they still drink. So they support my sobriety 100%. But I've found that like you and friends that I've met through the Seltzer Squad, like looking through the lens of sobriety, life is 100% different in a lot of ways. So just having that bond with other people, knowing that like they're nervous about going home for Christmas, like people that are normies don't get that. I mean, they get it on a different level, but like they don't get it in relation to drinking. They don't get it in relation to sobriety. And I think that's what's been really powerful to me is like, you know, people are at all different ages, shapes, sizes, and colors in the Seltzer Squad. And so people can give me advice on things and I could give them advice on things. And we're all looking through the lens of sobriety, which is different. Like, you know, like you and I can text about things that I don't text with my other friends because I know sobriety is a priority in your life, you know? And like that addiction aspect, I think is like, we just think differently. So we're able to support one another differently because we've gone through that. And it's like, I don't want you to make the mistakes that I've made. So I'll tell you what roadblocks that I've hit. So I think the fact that like I met people and then took the step forward to say like, hey, I think we should hang out, or even just connecting other squad members, because a lot of people are going through the same thing. And sometimes I wish I could just be like, call Kelly, because Kelly DM'd us the same thing. And so that's why I think you've done a good job in the Facebook group of saying, reach out to somebody, but like actually take it the next step and like send your phone number if you feel comfortable and connected to someone, because I think that's been the weirdest barrier of entry is I'm just like, eventually I get sick of DMing and I always forget to respond to people because I'm like not in Instagram all day long.
Yeah.
But I am on my texts, you know? So I'm like, just send me a text and we can continue this. And then, you know, usually that leads to like, let's FaceTime or whatever. And it's weird.
I'm still shy.
It's weird, but like, I'm so happy that I did it. Like I finally feel like almost 5 years later that I have like lot of sober friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you're much better at putting yourself out there. I go on the Facebook group and I creep a lot more than I post, but I do go in and like I'll read things, but I don't post as much. And it's funny because I don't know. I even though it's like a thing that we created, I still feel shy, which is dumb and it's my own shit. But yeah, I don't know.
I think the interesting thing is with these people, you don't have anything to like, there's nothing to keep up because they know everything about us. Well, like almost everything about us.
Which is like...
And then they feel comfortable to share their secrets. So then I feel more comfortable that I'm like, okay, yeah, we're on the same level. Yeah. You're fucked up too. Like, okay.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So that's been... I've
try
just
to
sort
make
of
more of
made
an
a
effort to be on the groups.
yeah, I've just made more of a concerted effort to be like, hey, this might be weird. Like I think I said to one of the girls, I was like, I mean, I gave you my phone number, like, don't be a like a murderer. And one girl's coming to New York and we're going to hang out. And I was like, I hope you're not a murderer, but we've like FaceTimed, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
That's
I haven't
weird.
FaceTimed anyone. I just for the first time, like in between recording episodes, I just told Kate, I responded. I posted a DM, like a video in our story. And someone responded asking a question. And I responded with a video just because I had too much to type out. I'm like, it'll be quicker if I just do the video. And I don't know, it kind of felt nice.
Yeah, it's weird,
so
right?
maybe I should try to do that more often. And
I feel like there's people in our squad that feel more connected to you versus me and me versus you. So like people reach out to us separately for different things. Like people create my personal DMs as well.
I feel like people relate to you more. I don't know. I feel like you're better at like being personable.
I don't think so.
Well, whatever. So, okay.
So reach out to Jess in the DMs if you're looking for sober friends, because she is too, and she's weird about it.
Yeah. I don't even I'm all quiet now. I'm like all flustered.
That's like my biggest catch-up though. I mean, I really feel like in a different place from a social perspective. I've spent a lot of the pandemic feeling really lonely and really like isolated.
Kind of in a valley.
Yeah. And I think now just meeting people that I can connect with on a different level has been really important for my, I don't know, growth, I guess. Takes the pressure off of TJ too. He's like, who the fuck are you texting all the time? I'm like, my new friends, leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to be all aspects of my social life anymore. Like he can just be my husband. He doesn't have to be my best friend. He doesn't have to like be my advice giver. Like I'm able, and I think as a woman, like I need those things. Like we want to fucking talk to each other all day long. We want to run shit past each other all day long. Like all we do is talk, you know, and he's not like that all the time. So it's alleviated some pressure from him.
That's awesome.
And this is now really like month 9 of us being in the same room together. So
yeah,
you know, it's a lot.
So tell me about school and work.
Well, I'm jobless.
Yes.
So that's,
are you loving it?
I was for like a month. Now I'm like, okay, well.
Do you think you're going to pick up another freelance gig after the holidays?
Yes. So what I set up for myself, and I've had like a weird feeling about talking about this, is so there's a website called Fiverr, which is famously known as like getting graphics for $5, right? They've scaled up their business since then, and I joined their platform and I put a bunch of my services on there. But the problem is, and this is what I feel weird about sharing, is like in order to rank higher in their algorithm, you have to have your prices really, really, really low. And they're like, in order to get more business, like share this all over your social media. And I'm like, I don't really want to share that I'm doing fucking shit for $15. That's going to take me like 2 hours to do. Like, I don't really want to share that I'm working for $4 an hour right now on my personal and professional social medias. But I also need people that like, I need people to buy shit from me in order to like be able to raise my prices. Tricky. So it's like on one end of the special, right, like for the month of whatever. And then because you also need to be able to survive and not spend a whole day working on one thing for $25 fucking dollars, you know? So it's like on the one hand, this feels like a scalable job for me to do while I'm in school because it's very like people purchase from you. So as a freelancer, I don't have to do all of that hustling up front. Like I don't have to pitch people. I don't have to make the proposals. Like that's all built into their software platform. So somebody's like, okay, I need a logo. I type in logo designer, 10 logo designers come up. I see all their prices. I see all their portfolios. And then I buy a logo from one of them. Like you get the payment is already cleared before you start the work, which I think is really important as a freelancer. Then I don't have to do all of that pitching work on the back end, which is why I want to be in their platform because it's paid for upfront. Yeah. Yes. So that like you just get a queue of orders eventually of like, 10 people bought logos today. So then all I do is like, I just start on the work. I don't even like you message them, hey, thanks for ordering. I got all your files. Like they have to do all of these certain things in order to to buy from you. So for me, it just made sense that I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be working essentially part-time, sometimes full-time for the next few years while I'm doing school, that I need something that I'm not constantly pitching and having to go to meetings in the city. And so I wanted something that was...
That's a lot of the work in
That's
itself.
most of the work, you know, and a lot of times you don't even get the job. So I'm like, even if I have to work for lower than what I was making before for a year or something, it'll work itself out.
I imagine also you'll get more jobs.
Yes.
Like even though you're working more jobs, but it's still less hours. So you should be able
save so
to
much time.
Well,
and like I'll get paid for the time that I'm working.
On 10 jobs at one time rather than 2.
Yes.
So just think of it like that.
So I guess
I get
the
what you're
ask
saying.
is,
you don't want to
squad, if you need any really simple graphic design and you want to leave me a 5-star review so that I can eventually raise my prices on Fiverr, please visit my profile. I'll put it in all of our links, because in order to like get to the next level, you have to have a certain amount of dollars, like people buying from you, and also a certain amount of orders. So my goal is to like get out of this like beginner rank and up one rung, and then ideally up and onwards from there. So that's what's going on the work front. I feel a little bit of shame around it just because I feel like it's a step backwards, but I also am excited about the platform.
What you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know how you think. So I get what you're saying. Like you feel like a sellout almost, but it's not.
I know.
It's actually like, it's got to be kind of nice. I get what you're saying about the money thing, but you don't have to be super cheap either.
Well, the other thing is like down the line, like you can include all these add-ons. So like, let's say you bought an Instagram graphic design from me, whatever. And then as you go through the checkout, it's like, do you want this as a rush? And then you can pay a rush fee to get it like the next day. And then it's like, do you also need a banner for your Facebook page? Then you can add that on. So like the idea is that, you know, people add a bunch of things onto one thing. So they're buying essentially a bundle of things from you, so that I could knock out 3 things at one time.
Sorry, I'm making
so I could knock out 3 things at one time. So it's like, I don't know. I see the value in it. It's just going to take time. You all right?
I think that once you get like a good amount under your belt. Are you laughing because I was
are you all right?
Yeah. Cameron made me a smoothie and I just took a sip of it and it was not good. Like, it was really weird.
I look like you're in a barf.
It also kind of looks like barf. Hang on, let me show you. I know that people can't see this.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, once you get a certain amount and you get that rating up, you can hike up those prices.
School's
and
good.
And if you decide that it's not worth it, then you get off of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you get out what you put in. So it's, you know, I'm doing the best that I can do. I have a very impressive resume and it is what it is. So, you know, I've had friends, like I've sent it to a couple friends and I'm like, hey, can I, like I photoshopped one of my friends' Christmas cards and just like really small things here and there just so that they can give me a review on something, because the reviews are really what, it's like Amazon, you know, like you get top rated reviews as you do more jobs.
It's like a podcast.
Yes.
Where you can go onto iTunes.
You can rate and review.
Like it and rate and review us.
Exactly. Now you can do that with my job, my other job.
Well, I'll get the link from you.
Yeah, buy something from me.
Notes, but also I want to be able to give you
a 5-star review. Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah. And school's good. I'm excited for a break. I haven't had a break since January, and by the time this podcast airs, I believe I will have only one project left to complete, and then I have like 5 weeks off until spring starts, and that's amazing.
And then when do you go back?
Like the middle of January.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
And then what? And then how long do you have?
Fucking years. We're in it now. This is just what's happening. But what's interesting now is like a whole year has already passed, and I can't believe I already took 10 classes. Like,
no, I can't.
That's
either.
Insane. And so I was like, okay. I was talking with the girls, and I was like, time moves both so fast and so slow. Like you feel like 3 years is an eternity, but I'm already like a third of the way there, which is crazy. Isn't that weird?
No. Yeah. Because it, like, on one hand, it feels like you just told me that you were going to go and be a therapist. And then it also feels like it was forever ago. But I feel like
it's only been a year. It was like last Thanksgiving is when I applied to college, and I was like, oh, if I get in, I'll go.
Yeah. Nah, it's crazy. Time's weird. It's weird.
And this is the 3rd year of the podcast. It's turning 3.
Oh my God. We're turning 3. No.
Yeah, because we launched around Black Friday. Didn't we? It's like the first week of December. I have to go back and look.
I'll have to look. That sounds right.
Yeah. Seltzer Squad is 3. How do you feel?
Speechless. Like, it just doesn't feel like that long, does it? I mean, I guess it does. It just doesn't. I don't know. We need to update
feels
our
like
photos.
we've been doing this
I'm gonna
for a
take new
long
photos.
time, but like when I scroll through our episodes, it seems like, wow, we have a lot of episodes. Like, I can't believe we did all of this, but I remember all of the work that we've put into it. It just feels, it's weird when I think about it in relation to my sobriety, because I'm like, fuck, 5 years and 3 years doing a podcast talking about being sober is wild to me. Like, my whole life is so different because of it.
Yeah. How is your sobriety?
Actually, it's good. I feel good. I mean, still vape relapsed, but I'm cutting myself a break because it's a pandemic. I'm not smoking cigarettes, and I feel like, I don't know, struggling how?
Just like my mind has been saying things to myself like, well, what if you did just like Kate's face?
My eyes are really big.
Like, what if you did
you
just
bargaining
like, who cares?
with yourself?
Like, just have a cocktail with dinner. I also haven't gone out to any restaurants, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm going out, but I don't know. I've just had that, like, maybe you can do it, you know?
Ugh.
I'm not going to.
Then what? Then what do you think though? After that, what's the next thought?
I play the tape through. Yeah. And it's just not worth it. And I'm like, why do I have these thoughts? And I think it has much less to do with drinking, much less to do with, it's just, I don't want to have a problem. And
it's interesting that you say this, because this is kind of what happened before.
With me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I did it.
Remember, you were like, I just want to have a drink with dinner, or at this ball game, or on vacation.
Yeah. Are you talking about when I relapsed? Yeah. And I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it. But it's just like, you always want to, I guess it's like, I want to test myself. And I think that that's like a thing that a lot of people probably cannot relate to. It's just the so wanting to not have a problem. And there's been times that I've had 2 glasses of whatever with dinner and then been fine. But it's just, I know for me, it's not worth it. I know that I'm not my best self when I'm drinking. It's just, again, I've put so much time into working on myself and not, I don't know. It's hard to explain because I don't know where these feelings are coming from. I think that the fact that Cameron is drinking again definitely comes into play there. I'm not
is there
saying
like
that it's
FOMO?
her fault. Yeah. It's like, well, you're testing yourself. I want to test myself. Again, that's not fair for me to put anything on anyone else. But I've had a couple instances where it's just, again, I haven't been tempted to drink. It's just the thought is there. And I don't like that. I don't like having that thought. I wish that I could just magically be like, I don't ever think about drinking. But it's not even about having the drink, because I can make mocktails. I can do this. I can do that. It's just really about wanting to not have a problem with it. But I'll never be able to not have a problem with it. And for example, like Cameron and I were having a conversation about drinking, and she said, I don't ever want to be with Jess who drinks. And I'm like, well, you don't really get to choose that, you know? And it's true. She doesn't. I don't plan on drinking, but I think that this is part of the thing. She was like, well, I know that you can't handle yourself and this and that from what you've said. And it's like, yeah, well, I can prove you wrong. Like, I can show you that I can handle myself and handle my drinking, because there are instances that I can. But what I said to her is I choose not to, because yes, let's say I drink 4 times, right? I drank a glass of champagne. I do this, whatever, and I'm fine. That 4th time, I take it to vodka just level where I'm gremlin, and it's that 4th time. And that's the reason why I can't.
It's too unpredictable. Yeah.
Yeah. So the only way to really control your drinking is to not drink it. Not drinking is the ultimate control. So
do you think it's on your mind because it's around? Yeah,
I think so. I think also it's holidays right now, which I don't know. Who knows? Let's see. Am I 2 years sober? 2 and a half, something like that. I don't know.
Have you talked to Nance about it?
No. I haven't. And it's funny because every time we have other shit that we like need to get out. So we haven't spoken about my drinking, but she's always like, well, I don't think that you are going to drink or feel tempted to drink. So if I'm wrong, you let me know. I'm like, So I just haven't said anything to her. But again, I don't feel like I'm going to. I just feel like, you know, that that addiction thought process creeps in every now and then. And
I feel like we should check out Laura's meetings. I've been wanting to go, but I want someone to go with.
Oh, I would totally do that with you. And it's funny because I think that also these feelings creep in. Okay, so Kate and I will record 4 to 6 episodes when we can get together. So then we have a month off. So I think it's the longer that you and I go without catching up, that's when it becomes more towards the end of that. It's man, a cocktail would be really nice right about now. So it's very nice that this podcast and you keep me in chat and the squad. That's another thing is I would never want to let people down.
Sure.
So it's really nice to have that accountability. It is a little pressure too. I can't fuck up, but I think at the end of the day, it's, I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to let myself down. So that's where we're at as far as that is concerned. So since I've been having these feelings of wanting to, it's when we're recording this, it's December right now. Christmas has not come, but I love coquito. Do you know what that is? That Puerto Rican, so I ordered, I'm maybe I could make, I miss Christmas drinks. I don't know. And so I ordered some rum, fake rum, I should say, fake rum. And it hasn't come yet, but I want to try to make a mocktail version of that. And I ordered some fake whiskey. And even though Cameron she drinks wine, she used to be a whiskey drinker. So I got her the Ritual whiskey and alternative. And I made us some fresh whiskey sours yesterday. And it tasted too much like whiskey for me. I'm not a whiskey drinker. She liked it. So that's a nice thing for her to have. So
I haven't had any spirits. I think I had Seedlip once a year ago, but I'm nervous about that.
It doesn't, Seedlip, I think doesn't taste like any particular.
Yeah, but Ritual, and you were talking about the tequila. I just I don't know.
I can't do
I'm
it.
nervous for myself.
The Ritual tastes so much like the real thing. It's crazy. But so that might be good for some people and triggering for others. For me, they make it in tequila, whiskey, and gin. I used to shoot whiskey until I didn't anymore because I overdid it. So I just for me, whiskey is synonymous with barf. So that's not a problem for me not to drink. The tequila tastes more like mezcal to me. It's got more of a smoky flavor to it. Or jalapeno. And I never like spicy margaritas or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
sweet.
for me, so for me, I don't like it. Again, it tastes like the real thing, but I don't like it because my own personal preferences. And then they make a gin. I was never a gin drinker. If they made a vodka version, then we can talk. But Liars makes amaretto, which I have. It's really good. And I ordered the white sugar cane, which is basically the rum. And I'm excited for that to come. That should come next week or something like that. So I think even though I'm kind of tricking my mind, I'm kind of giving into it a little bit. I'm still not. So I know that could be controversial, but I'm not drinking. I'm not going to drink. So I'm fine with it. And I know myself, and I've been through enough therapy where I know, you know what I mean? I'm not scared. For me, drinking non-alcoholic versions of things is not triggering, and it's not a slippery slope for me. It's not if I'm getting that satisfaction of the flavor, if I'm drinking a fake margarita, it's not going to be man, now I want to have a real one. That's just not my thought process. It's oh, fuck, this is awesome. I can still enjoy a margarita without taking my clothes off. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So that's where I'm at. The ongoing struggle. It's just,
I'll have
it
to
is what it
report
is.
back soon because I'm going to be worried.
No. Don't be worried. It's just, I see. That's the other thing. It's I never say this to certain people because I don't want to worry people. But since we have this podcast, I think it's important for me to be true because people are always
I don't feel
it's
you're
hard.
at risk today, but it's I still worry about it. I don't worry about you relapsing, but I worry about you, you know? You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I'm not thinking that you're going to have a slip up at dinner tonight, but I do worry that it's for all of us. I too suffer from not having enough tools sometimes. It's not that I'm at risk in that moment, but it's it makes me more vulnerable to that addictive cycle, I guess, is maybe what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think I need to reach out to more sober people like we were talking about earlier, because the person that I spend 99.99% of my time with is great. But I think that it would be
my partner
beneficial
drinks
for me
too. It's not the same. We need to have another squad Zoom. Let's have one before you go to Christmas.
That's the other thing I wanted to mention before. I know that we've probably been talking for a while in this catch-up episode, but like, we never talked about our Zoom.
No, we didn't talk about our Zoom.
We didn't speak about it.
I was so nervous.
I know. We had a Zoom meeting. You guys probably have figured this out by now. And we didn't keep it hush hush, but we didn't scream it from the mountaintops either, because it was our first one. We were very nervous.
We were overwhelmed.
Anxious. We didn't know what we were going to do. So we put it up on the mailing list. So people who are on the mailing list got the information about the Zoom information.
Our email list. You can join. It's in all of the links.
It was really nice. We had about 30 people. Also, I'd like to shout out this dude emailed us, and it was really sweet. He was like a 60-something-year-old white guy, and he was like, I logged in and it was all women, younger women, and he left to respect the space. And I thought that was, yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Because he said that he like jumped on, so I was all like 30-something-year-old women, and he wanted to like be respectful. Which is like really nice. What is
Did you send him a video chat back?
It was an email.
Okay.
So no.
What a sweetheart.
I know. But so we had about 30 people. There were some tears, there were some laughs. It was really nice. We just did it on a Friday night. It was the Friday before Halloween. And it was just a space. We all hung out for about like an hour and a half. I think it was an hour and a half. I think we'll keep them a little shorter in the future, but we would like to do more if you guys are interested. I think people are interested.
Yeah, I agree. We have to like talk offline about like what went well, what didn't go well, but I think overall it went really well. I didn't really know we didn't really have any expectations going in. We didn't know how many people were going to come, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
But
we just want an extra outlet, if you don't do AA, or even if you do AA or MM or anything like that, Smart Recovery, like it's still nice to have other options.
Also, just for me, like Friday is my witching day. Like Friday heading into the weekend is always the hardest. Friday night is always the hardest for me. So I like that's why we have it on Friday nights, or if we're going to continue doing that, because that's when I feel Thursday like night. The day is the longest for me.
Thursday night was my night, because it was ladies' night at the bar that we would go to. So, and sometimes I would DJ on ladies' nights and stuff. So Thursday was my always like drinking day, because I thought Fridays was for amateurs.
I worked Fridays.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah.
But anyway, not really amateurs, but you know what I mean? I was just like, that's when it's like packed with like the weekend warriors.
I need to process this catch-up. This was a lot.
Yeah.
Covered a lot.
It was a long one. I think we covered a lot. But it's been a minute since we did a catch-up. So hopefully we didn't bore y'all. Miss my negative Nanciness.
Well, I mean, I miss you like in real life.
I know I miss you in real life too. We need to hang out soon.
Yeah. Okay. Until we meet again.
Be nice to yourself.
And don't forget, hangovers suck.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Every review helps other listeners find us. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Kate Sander. For show notes and resources, check out seltzersquad.com.